Hello everybody, it's Captain Hooch here. So, you might notice something new today. I've got a hat. I don't want to torture anybody with my incredible baldness since I've forgotten to shave my head. So, welcome back to Drunken Mondays, and yeah, it's Tuesday now. Monday was a bit busy for me, had a horrible headache when I got off work, decided to just crash. So, Drunken Monday on a Tuesday. But, we got beer. And that's a perfect excuse to call anything Monday if you like. Oh boy. Hate it when that happens. Is it going to happen again? Might need to get a towel. Today's beer is Guinness Blonde, the American lager. I've been wanting to try it for a while, finally did. It's pretty good. I'd say it's definitely more of a beer you want to have with food, not get drunk on or drink when you've already had a bunch of other different types of beers, because it's a bit heavy. But, you know, if you're going to start your night out, it's a good starting point. I find that other experiences with it doesn't taste as well after you've had a few other beers. I guess where your palate's just got all that in it and you're drunk and you're probably not getting the full range of flavor being noticed. But yeah, it's good. I recommend it. Today's vape, I've got the Strawberry Shortcake from White Raven E-Liquid. It's my last White Raven bottle. I like it. It's not my favorite Strawberry Shortcake. My favorite comes from Open Source Vapor. But let's move on to today's first topic. So, today's first topic. Today's first topic is cheating versus hitting below the belt in video games. Need to definitely clarify, in video games. Never hit somebody below the belt in real life. That shit ain't cool. Unless it's a life or death situation. Life or death, hit them below the belt all day long. As long as it keeps you alive, you can get my thumbs up on that. But any other circumstances, no, don't do it. But in video games, cheating versus hitting below the belt. There's been a thing that happened in Elite Dangerous recently on the subreddit. If you follow the Elite Dangerous subreddit, then you probably know about the Commander meta thing that they were talking about mostly yesterday and day before. He is the guardian of the core, and pardon the burp, I blame the beer. So, guardian of the core Commander meta. He apparently has combat logged once a while back, and the guy who that caused him to combat log was filming and has uploaded that video. So, what happened is he decided to go assassinate Commander Meta. So he took a combat fit Anaconda to the core, which is about 25,000 light years away from civilization, and that's a hell of a trip if you're not in an exploration fitted vehicle. So, he gets there, and he challenges Meta to a shields down duel. So, he gets Meta's shields down, and, you know, duel over, right? Well, after the duel, when Meta's shields are down, he moves into a better position and opens fire back up on the unshielded Commander Meta. Commander Meta responds with a combat log. That's where he just logs off from the game in combat by pulling the plug effectively, not logging out through the main menu. Now, when Meta popped back in, his health and shields had returned to what they were before the fight, which is an unfortunate side effect of combat logging that way. Which I thought it was a hack or a cheat when I saw the video until somebody corrected me. And Meta himself has owned up the combat logging and says he won't do it again, but now there's a big debate going on that, does it make cheating okay if somebody uses deceitful tactics to win? My answer is no. And here's why. Now, I used to play a game called Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, and I'm sure you've heard of them, and I'd love to try Bloodborne and Demon Souls, but I don't have a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. No intention to buy a console when they're pretty much the only game that I have any interest at all in playing. So, what it comes down to is this. In Dark Souls, there was a big debate that's probably still going on to this day, PVP Etiquette. And I never thought I'd see the day that we had to apply this to Elite, but here it is. In Dark Souls, PvP etiquette basically was when you meet your opponent on the battlefield to PvP, you do a gesture, commonly the bow. You bow to the opponent, they bow to you, and then the fight begins. Then there were other rules like, don't fish for backstabs. That's when you circle the opponent with your shield up, waiting for either latency to go in your favor, for them to make a mistake, and then you right in the back for massive damage. And of course, when somebody's bowing, you don't just run up and whip the crap out of them with a backstab. Those things weren't cool. And the community of Dark Souls would get very, 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 very pissed at you for it. So in Elite, apparently, when you're doing friendly, not to the death PvP, you should stop when shields are down. Okay. Sure, that was the agreed terms of the duel. But this guy was here to kill meta. He was an assassin, and he decided to use the knowledge that meta would do these types of duels against him. He lulled meta into a false sense of security, used that to get a more advantageous position on the commander once his shields were down, and then resumed his attack. Meta in turn combat logged. Now, people are saying that because meta combat logged under these circumstances, his combat log is justifiable. No. It's still cheating. You see, if I tell you that you have to extend your pinky when drinking a beer, and the government tells you you don't, then my rule has no power behind it. There's nothing that can enforce it. The government, however, does have ways to enforce it. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous blue law sort of deal, but, you get what I'm saying. Now, if the social community of the game says you cannot tell somebody you're going to do a shields down duel, and then once their shields are down, move into a more advantageous position for you and resume your attack while they're off guard, that doesn't make it an actual rule, and it doesn't justify cheating. Because the rules of the game, set forth by the game and its developer, say that combat logging is cheating. The only communications rule they have, to the best of my knowledge, is do not verbally harass people in the game or outside of the game because of stuff in the game. And honestly, just don't verbally harass people ever, period. That's bad. Harassment is never cool. So, Meta's assassin was perfectly in the green to use deceit to try and get a more advantageous position. Was it a cool thing to do? No, it wasn't. It was a dick move. He took advantage of a situation, and Meta should have paid the price for it, or somehow managed to come away badly damaged but still alive, or ran. But combat logging, no, because combat logging can get you banned. Telling somebody that you're going to fight them to shields down and then resuming the assault a few seconds after the opponent thinks it's over cannot get you banned. So, why are people defending this as if it's the right thing to do? I mean, you're just spreading the idea that it's okay to cheat if somebody lies to you. And lying to somebody in the game is not going to get you banned, but lying to the game and saying, hey, I've logged out, I'm no longer a valid target, and when I log back in because I pulled the plug instead of going out through the menu, my shields and health will come back. You're exploiting combat logging to regain your health, and you're exploiting combat logging to avoid death. I mean, I can understand the temptation to do that's high when you're in the core and it's 25,000 light years from civilization, but it doesn't make it okay. Now, Meta has said that he won't do it anymore. He wants to avoid the drama, although he did feel that he was justified to do it under the circumstances. And, no, you weren't, bud. Sorry. But, yeah. I mean, even in Dark Souls, I was the kind of guy who would backstab people for bowing because, fuck you, it's a game. It doesn't matter. I'm not breaking the rules of the game. The developers don't care. They never enforced a bow before you fight rule. That's just how it is. I didn't always do that, but sure, I'd do it. And I've had people do it to me. So why is it such a big deal? Why does somebody disobeying the socially accepted etiquette make it okay to cheat in retaliation? Why do people get this idea? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. But that's Drunken Monday for today.